I have to ask because
Uh-oh.
news dropped about 5 hours ago, I think. Um,
Yeah.
the Hollywood Reporter, and this is big news, at least in our little world. But the Hollywood Reporter broke the news that the Russo brothers have been tapped to return to the MCU and direct not just one, but the next two Avengers films. Again, this is from the Hollywood Reporter. I'll read a little bit right from the article. The hiring ends months long high stakes search by the studio for filmmakers to oversee the fifth and sixth Avengers movies. Multiple names were in contention, including Deadpool and Wolverine director Sean Levy, who was offered the gig. Sources say the talks are in the early stages. We talked about this very briefly off air that this must have been news for Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con next week that
Mm-hmm.
has been ruined. I have to imagine that was the case. But what are your thoughts on this, real quick?
It's tough because I come at it from two different angles. Since I'll be at San Diego Comic Con next week, this would have been great news to hear in that room and the excitement of everything. It would have been really nice to hear that kind of thing get announced. And so now it's kind of prematurely ruined in that way. I mean, it'll still be fun to see that, but it's just kind of the excitement, the pop that you would have got from it. Being live and hearing it there first would have been excellent. But on a whole, I mean, you can't really say this is anything but good news. They have not made a bad MCU movie. When we talk about anything they've done outside the MCU, that's a different story. When they do their own stuff, it seems there's a lot of, I guess, meh about their stuff that they've done that's not MCU related, but
Yeah.
their Marvel stuff is undeniable. So I can't be anything but happy to hear that they're coming back for not one but two Avengers movies. And also, I remember way back in the day, and this might have been after Endgame, that they had said that their dream project to direct one day would be Secret Wars. So it seems that they're getting their wish. And you can only hope that with them getting their wish, it's going to be something fantastic. So I am absolutely happy. And I think the only thing that they had mentioned, or I think Jeff Snyder at once mentioned that they were not going to direct because Marvel passed them over. I think based on the idea that maybe that their asking price might have been a little too high. So maybe that's why they've sort of kind of come back around to the Russos. One, because time's a ticking and they need to get some people on board for those if they want to keep the dates that they have. And then also maybe because the Russos maybe came back down to earth a little bit and said, okay, maybe we can negotiate something a little bit less and make everybody happy. So either way, I am definitely happy that they're coming back and going to be part of the MCU again.
I don't disagree. The MCU seems like it could use some news like this, and like you said, it's a bummer. Kind of. I'm not even going to be at San Diego Comic Con this year, but I get exactly what you're saying. That having an announcement like this while you're there for the weekend, it just kind of adds to the excitement. So it's a bummer that if this was like the big plan to reveal this
Mm-hmm.
at a Marvel panel and it got scooped ahead of time. I mean, that is what it is, but it's kind of a
Yeah,
bummer.
yeah,
But no, seems like good news for all the reasons you said. They have directed great films for the MCU so far. Um, yeah, I mean, what's bad about it?
yeah.
I mean, anything could happen. I mean, as we've seen, there's some of the stuff they've done outside the MCU, like you said, has had some kind of mediocre, critical reaction. But,
Mm-hmm.
you know, fingers crossed that they continued their MCU streak anyway. So it seems like good news all around.
Yeah. Now it'll just be a matter of, I think, on at least the one that was supposed to be King Dynasty, which was the next one.
Yeah.
I think that they also had got rid of the writer or something along that effect, because I think it was Michael Wardrow or something like that, Wardlow,
Okay.
who was directing and writing it. And then I think they had moved him off of directing, and then he was still writing it. But I think they moved him off writing it as well. So I'm hoping if that is the case, and I got that right, that they get some good writers in there. And it'd be fantastic news if they could get the writers for the other ones back. Well, who was that? Was it Reese and Warnick? Or was that the bit? Or do they do Deadpool? I can't remember. But there's a couple writers that they've had that they've been using for the Avengers movies, and I think even maybe Winter Soldier and Civil War, I think, as well. And they've all, did great work together, the four of them. So hopefully they can get all those players back into the same game and be able to make something special. That'd be nice.